Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today, got this really cute You Melt My Heart card for you today. This is, I've got 3 copies of it because this is video number 1 of 3 in the Kitchen Table Stamper Sweet Ice Cream Stamp-A-Stack card class. So if you're interested in taking this class with us, you can go to kitchentablestamper.com/shop, and in the right hand side you can sort the store and find class packets and then see if there's a class packet available for you to stamp along with us. All right, so this is design number 1, and this class makes 3. The class packet makes 3 of this design, makes 2 of this thank you design. Oh, cute. That'll be video number 2. And in video number 3, we'll make this design, this happy birthday card. All right, guys, let's get started. I'm going to pop into my kit here, and you can see there's 1/3 of a spool of sheer pool party ribbon, 1/4 of a package of the ice cream corner sprinkles, and there's the ice cream corner designer series paper. First thing we want to do is cut our designer series paper. So I'm going to choose these 3 patterns. Let's see here. All right, so there's our designer series paper. And let's get those petal pink card bases too. So when you get the kit, the card bases are done for you. They're 8.5 by 5.5. They're scored at 4 1/4 for you. You get the envelope. And then let's grab some white cardstock to do our scoops and our popsicles. All right, I'm going to grab a paper trimmer and we'll get this paper cut. And I've got my paper trimmer here, and we're going to cut each of these 3 designer series papers according to Wonder Recipe number 12. So this printable sheet is available on the blog. You can just link, if you're on YouTube, click project details, video number 1. It'll take you to the blog, and if you're on the blog, you're looking for the embedded video, you'll see underneath the embedded video, click here for Wonder Recipe number 12 printable cutting diagram. So you can print this right out, and I like to have it printed all out, and then I put it in a page protector so I can just sort my pieces right onto it as I cut them. So my 2 papers, the dots in the cone pattern, don't have an orientation, but the ice cream pattern does. So we're going to have to take that into account when we're cutting our paper. So I'm going to start with the ice cream paper. I'm going to do 2 sheets at once. You can do that with this trimmer, no problem. And we want the orientation of our cones for our 2nd and 3rd card to be 2 by 3 inches. And here, for this design, 2 by 3 inches. Because of that, we're going to cut our first 2-inch cut with the ice cream cones oriented properly when they're facing you in the trimmer. We're going to cut 2 inches. And then we can rotate and cut 3 inches. Now, one of these papers for our project is going to be ice cream cone pattern, but the other one is going to be ice cream cone pattern. So I'm going to flip those over like that, and then I'm going to pop them in to one of the sections in my grid. Next, 2 inches, and then 3 inches, rotate, cut 3 inches. Then we're going to flip to the other cone pattern, stack those guys up, pop it in the grid. Now we need 2 by 2 pieces. And then our last piece, we're going to cut this one the same way. Now we're going to go 2 inches, and then 3. And then each of the sections of the grid. And then these are 2 by 2. So we'll have 3 2 by 2 squares when we're all done. All right, there's our last cut, 2 pieces. We slide this in here. So we've got green, then we've got one of each in each of the segments. Now that we've got one of each in each of the segments, what I'll do at this point is I'll put them in the card kit that they belong in. So this kit gets 2 by 2 pieces, one of each pattern. Then I'm going to do the same for this one here. Oh, forgot to give that one green dots. So our design number 2 is a cinnamon cider. We're going to just sort those in. And then design number 3 is this pear pizzazz. And we'll just put those in. All right, there's our paper all ready for all 10 cards, or for all 7 cards. Wonder recipe number 12 can go back in the binder. Let's do some stamping. Got my Stampin' Pierce map and some white cardstock. We're going to need to make 3 popsicles. You can do them varying colors if you like. You can do all of them at once if you like. So when you're doing a Stamp-A-Stack at home, you get the kit. You're gonna do all of the ice cream scoops that you need at one time. You're gonna do all the popsicles that you need at one time. It'll make Stampin'-A-Stack much more efficient. All right, but for this design, we need 3 popsicles, 6 scoops, and 3 cones. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm going to bust up this cardstock that comes in the kit like this, but I'm gonna bust up this cardstock into strips to make it a little bit easier to punch our scoops and to cut our popsicles. All right, so you can see that they're about 1.5 inches wide. So I'm gonna take 1 3/4 strips off of this sheet. All right, there's our strips. Take one to start with here. I'm going to start with the cones. So I've got cinnamon cider and soft suede. I've also got some of the small Stampin' Up grid paper. I'm going to put that beside my Stampin' Pierce map. This is the ice cream builder punch. I'm going to leave this next to me with the bottom side up. It'll help me to better place my punch or my stamped items so that I can punch them out easily. Got the cone and the detail stamps. These are from Sweet Ice Cream. It's an 18-piece photopolymer stamp set. You can bundle it with the punch now for just a little bit longer while the occasions catalog, the January-June catalog, is still live. So get this in a bundle and save 10%. I'm going to do my cone with cinnamon cider. So I'll ink up. I'm going to do a second generation. So I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp upside down, and with a little bit of a tilt, there's my cone. And then I'm going to stamp the details. And for this card design, we need 3 of those. So I'll turn this one and do the same thing on the other end of the strip, which will make it super easy to punch. Okay, new strip, 1 more cone. Now scoops. We need 6 scoops, and I had 2 extra from another project, so I'm a little bit ahead on 1 scoop. Let me clear away the cone colors, get some new ink pads. We're gonna stamp a bunch of scoops. For my scoops, I've got the scoop stamp and the little splatter kind of sprinkles, round sprinkles. And we're gonna do a variety of different color scoops. So I've got Pool Party, and I'm gonna stamp Pool Party full strength. It's such a light color. And then I'm coming in with Bermuda Bay for the speckles. All right, do a couple of those. Then I'm gonna bring my chamois in, and I'm gonna clean my scoop and sprinkles. Let me show you how I did my purple scoops. My purple scoops are Highland Heather, and I'm gonna stamp off. And then stamp Second Generation for Highland Heather. Then I've got Rich Razzleberry here. You can use Blackberry Bliss too if you wanted to. I forgot that I threw in my Blackberry Bliss ink pad, so I used Rich Razzleberry and it looks great. And let me clear these away. I'm going to show you the other two colors that I used for scoops. And we'll have plenty of scoops for these cards. All right, so my other scoop for this card was Calypso Coral. And for our Calypso Coral scoop, we're going to stamp off and then Second Generation. And add some details. Full strength. So cute. All right, that's all of our scoops. Now let's talk about our popsicles. I happen to have one that's already done and cut out here. Let's go ahead and do 2 more for our cards. So our little ice pop is 2 pieces. It's got a rounded top and then kind of a squared off bottom. We're going to start with the top. For the one that we have here, we're going to do Pear Pizzazz and stamp off, and then stamp. And for the bottom of the pop, we're going to do Pool Party. We won't stamp off. We're just going to stamp over the Pear Pizzazz. Pretty cool, huh? For the details, we're going to stamp them full strength with some Pear Pizzazz. Add a little speckle. And let me switch colors. All right, so I've got my little popsicle stick here. I'm going to ink up in cinnamon cider and stamp off. And then add a stick. And then there's little details, like a little wood grain for your popsicle stick. We're going to do that one with soft suede. So that's our green and blue combination ice pop. Let's do a pretty purple ice pop too. For my pretty purple ice pop, I'm gonna ink up with Highland Heather, the top, and I'm gonna stamp it off. And then for the bottom, I'm gonna ink up with Rich Razzleberry and stamp off. And then the bottom of our little ice pop here. I love how the inks blend. And some details. We're gonna do those little speckles with Rich Razzleberry, full strength. And then I'm gonna put another stick, just the same way we did this one. There it is. So since we're stamping, I'm going to leave my cinnamon cider ink pad here. Let's set these aside for just 1 more minute before we cut and punch. Inside the kit, there's a white cutout. This is the postage square from the snail dies. These snail dies are the ones that coordinate with Snailed It. You could get those in a bundle while supplies last. I'm not sure the status of these 2 products right now. They are on the retirement list and available while supplies last. We're gonna stamp You Melt My Heart, little greeting, on the bottom left, or on the bottom right corner of each of these little postage squares. All right, there's our greetings. And then I'm going to switch back to Calypso Coral here for just a minute. It's a tiny little detail, but we are going to stamp a little heart right above that greeting. This little heart came from the hot dog stamp set. Of course, you can use any little heart die or punch or stamp that you have, but this is a cute stamp set and it's also available while supplies last. All right, let's get some Calypso Coral ink. And we're going to stamp each of these with a little heart, kind of right above the T. You melt my heart. Just gave a good balance and a cute little detail. All right, let me clear away the Stampin' Paris mat and the ink pads. We'll get the punch and some scissors and cut our scoops and ice pops. All right, I'm back now, and I'm gonna go ahead and punch all my scoops. So you noticed how I put them with the little roughly edge down at the edge of the strip. Makes it really easy to punch. Same with the cones. They're on the edge of the strip, upside down, a little tilt. That makes it really easy to punch. And for our little ice pop here, we're gonna just fussy cut that guy right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to fussy cut my ice pops, punch all my scoops and cones, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I have gone ahead and assembled my little square for 2 of the copies of our card here. The Stampin' Stack makes 3. So let's just do 1 together. I'm gonna put a little dab of glue on the very bottom, the scallops of the ice cream. And I'm going to pop it onto the cone, and then a little strip for the second scoop. You can pop that on the cone also. Now we're going to take the bottom and stick for our popsicle. Glue that to our postage square. Don't cover the greeting. And a little bit of glue on the back of our ice cream cone. We're going to pop that one. It's going to cover the bottom corner of your ice pop. I'm going to glue that. Now we've got our little medallion. Let's go ahead and flip over. We're going to do our ribbon on this step. So 2 strips of tear and tape adhesive. I'm going to peel that off. And let's get the ribbon from the kit. We've got this Pool Party sheer. It's gorgeous. I'm going to spool off quite a length of it. And then we're going to start at the very top of that tear and tape adhesive. And just a little bit past the edge. I'm going to go into the adhesive, swoop back, and adhere it to the adhesive as you go, and then you can swoop back. And now there's not quite enough tear and tape adhesive here. That's okay, because it's going to go on with dimensionals. So we can just secure this bottom row of the ribbon with dimensionals. Then we're going to cut away from the spool here at a nice angle, and there too. Now we can go ahead and add more dimensionals to the back of this, so it's ready to just pick and stick, add to our card. Here's our sample. Here's our little postage square. Now the kits have petal pink card bases in them. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're gonna go ahead and work this score and stamp our background. Did you notice the adorable background on this card? Look at that. That's so cute. I already went ahead and did our other 2 copies. This is done with the Stitchery stamp set. This is brand new in the annual catalog. I love this. I knew from the minute I saw it I had to have it. When you're thinking to yourself, oh, my card needs just a little something, this stamp set is going to be one that you pick up again and again and again. Put it along the border, along the edge, along the background. You can do like we're doing today, where you put them all on your Stamparatus. You'll put them a good almost 1/2 inch apart. There's probably a little bit more than 1/4 inch space, but from one design to the next, we've got them so they run about every almost 1/2 inch. It's going to be a little bit shorter than 5 1/2. We're going to then ink and stamp on a piece of the small grid paper so you know where to place your card. Then you're going to bring your card in, and since you've inked and stamped, you can see where the stitching line is going to start and stop. We're going to put the bottom of the card at the very edge of the bottom stitch. We're going to ink all the stitches with Petal Pink ink. And then stamp. Oh, I love this so much. I think this is one of the very best items that came out in the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog this summer. It's a very worthy investment. All right, ready? There's our stitches. Now, because we're wild and crazy, we're going to flip the card end over end, and then we're going to realign so that each of the stitches goes down between the open space, and you can tell that because you see where the stitches start and stop. I'm using this 1-inch line for the edge of my card, so I know that my stitches are not going to run up or downhill. We're going to re-ink and stamp again. Flip, press. And then you want to lift carefully in case you need to put the stamp apparatus back down if it skips at all. But look at that. Isn't that the best background? All right. We get the Designer Series paper and pieces that we prepared from each of the envelopes, and we'll adhere them to the bases of the card. So we've got our adorable Designer Series paper. The green dot is going to go up kind of in the left corner. The cone pattern in the right corner. Now here's the thing about these cone patterns. The cone and the ice cream cone are on the same paper. So you want to kind of choose which one you're going to use based on what's going to show. You see that? So that's how I'm going to glue them down. Let's put some multi-purpose liquid glue on the back. You see it's just kind of at an angle. It doesn't quite touch the top or the side. And then this little guy goes down. I always put the bottom and the top corners down first. And then this little guy comes in and kind of the opposite angle. There's a little bit of space between the bottom two and the top one. It kind of floats off the top there. I went ahead and I did the other 2 copies, put the Designer Series paper on, and now our little medallions are done, so we can just peel and stick those guys to the front of our card. I love this sheer icy ribbon. Might need a little trim, so once you've got it on the card, you're going to just make sure your sentiment reads level, and then go ahead and press down. And then it's a little bit past the edge here, so we're going to go ahead and give our ribbon a haircut. Last step is to embellish with some of these adorable ice cream corner sprinkles. Aren't those just the cutest thing you've ever seen? Now, I did think about, do I really want to do this? But as you can see, here's the card with the sprinkles. Here's the card without. It takes a little bit of work to glue these sprinkles on, but they sure are adorable. They make the card, they really pop. So you've got a little bag in your kit that is 1/4 of a package of these. And what I like to do with them is I just kind of dump them out. Just a few. Then I'll go through with my multi-purpose liquid glue and my take your pick tool. And I'll just dot some glue like random speckles on my card. And once I've done some random speckles, then I'll pick up the sprinkles with the putty end of the tool and then just drop them right in on the glue. If you're having a little trouble getting it, then take off and start with a new tiny little bit. These are so little, they don't need a lot of glue. If you have any spot where the glue is too much, you can pick up a sprinkle, touch it where the glue is too much, and then move it to somewhere where there's not so much glue. So that's what I'm going to do with here. And then I'll add the sprinkle in there. You just kind of pick them up random colors and drop them into the glue. I'm going to do some going up and away from the greeting and down and away from the greeting. I'll go ahead and do that for all 3 cards right now. This is a little bit of labor of love, but it's so cute. And like I said, it just makes the card. All right, I'm finishing up our last card here, and I just wanted to show you that if you're having a little trouble, you can use the tip of your paper snips in your non-dominant hand. Use the take your pick tool in your dominant hand. Bring the little sprinkle over to the glue, touch it into the glue, and then push it off of the tip of the take your pick tool with the point of the scissors. That'll help you if you're having trouble. If you've got a little bit of a big spot of glue, don't hesitate to put 2 sprinkles right next to each other, because that's how they would fall kind of naturally. So there it is, our You Melt My Heart design number 1 on kitchen table stamper sweet ice cream Stamp-A-Stack class. I'll be back with video number 2 where we'll make an adorable cinnamon cider and pool party Bermuda Bay version. That's video number 2. If you've got any questions about the class, reach out, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com to see if there are sweet ice cream Stamp-A-Stack class packets still available. Buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop. Check out the class packets section. It'll make it very easy for you to follow right along with the videos. And to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, you can check out Hot Dog and the snail dies. Maybe pick up the Stitchery stamp set. But you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in video number 2.